All right, I'm here today to show you just a different version of the Brushbot, one that I'll use in presentations. The idea I learned from Kit Play, as I've bought some components from them, which I think they've got the idea. The Brushbot idea obviously comes from the Evil Mad Scientist website. So the previous one I made is one option. This is just another option. Very similar, not a whole lot different, just a few different pieces. So I just want to show you how to make this. So there's no confusion on how to do that. You can see that I've already clipped off the stem of the toothbrush. So we have that. Obviously the bristles, the flatter and smoother the better. A little bit different than the other one where we used a coin cell battery. We're using 1.5 volt battery, a little bit thicker, not as wide and flat, but not a big deal. And then we have a little bit different motor. The other motor I had was flat and just kind of taped on there. This one is more of a square shape, a little bit smaller, but does the same purpose. And then still double-sided tape. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to do this. One of the things that I suggest is sometimes we have to strip these wires. And if you have wire cutters and you want to use that, that's perfectly fine. But I also know that sometimes when we're starting out, we don't have all those tools. And so I would not recommend that kids do this. But as teachers, one of the things I do, and obviously you do this at your own risk, is some of these wires are real finicky. And so I just take the tip of a pair of scissors and I'll just kind of shimmy off the end here so I can make sure I've got some exposed wire. Like I said, I know it's not the safe, not something I would recommend my students to do, but it's definitely an easy way if you don't have a lot of pliers or wire cutters. If you do have that, this is obviously not a big deal for you. And so I'm just going to get this last little piece of red here off, and then we should be good to go. One thing that I've found with these wires is that they do cut easy, so you kind of got to be careful that you don't sever it all the way off. All right, so there should be enough there. Okay, so we've got this. I took a 1" by 1" double-sided piece of tape, cut it in half. What I will do also, which I have here, is I will cut a little bit of the tip off because we don't need it all. Oh, that is shot off. So we'll use this little piece here in just a minute, but this bigger piece I will stick right on the back of the toothbrush. Peel it off here, like so. Then what I will do before I put the battery on is I will test it to make sure that it actually works. So if I just hold these on here, no, just kidding. You're not going to shock yourself, don't worry. But test the wires, and I don't know if you can hear, but the motor's going, so we're good. So what I recommend is I like to tape these down right away in the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Tape that here. And tape this red wire down. Just stick it right there in the tape. Get my motor on there. And then I'll stick my battery on there. The one thing you want to make sure that you do is make sure that this part of the motor isn't on the tape so that it actually will spin. And so when I push this motor down, this wire down, it's going to take off. Now, one thing that's a little bit different with the other one is it's a little bit easier to get the motor on and off. I know that was kind of a problem with the other one. So that's why I use this little piece of tape here. I will tape this top wire right to the battery, but then I can peel it off whenever I want. So now that I have that, make sure my motor is down. And we've got the Brushbot. Very, very simple. And then we can go through with the ideas of modifying and tweaking this as we go. So just one more idea, slightly enhanced and changed. There's a million different ways of making this. This one is super cheap to make. So once again, Then when you want to turn it off, which is easier than my previous build, is I just pull this tape off and I'm good to go, which is great. And then you just tape it back on. Voila. So if you have questions, suggestions, thoughts, ideas, I'd love to hear from you. We keep exploring with different builds and makes, and obviously I love to learn from others, and so that's the key to life, is learning and sharing. So if you have other ideas or suggestions, please send them my way. And this is Coffee Chug with another Brushbot build. Have a great day.